So this is the Hex EZCan accessory manager. Bought this directly from Hex website. Comes like this. Z cables. You got your update port just there for the USB. Comes with the USB cable. I've already updated this. It's got the latest firmware, and I've already set it up to run some lights from Colight. One's already on the bike, well, half on the bike. The mountings I bought extra, and they're okay. They fit the crash bars well. The only issue is the bolts that they've sent aren't very good. So I'm just experimenting with getting them attached to the bike. But basically, that's the spotlight. They seem well made. Cabling seems good, nice and flexible. Comes with the cover. Right. There we go. Yeah. Looking forward to getting these on and getting them tested and see what they're like. But overall, the lights do look pretty impressive. Seem very well built. The only issue I've got is, like I said, is the bolts they sent. They're not very good. They could have done a lot better job with the mounts, really. So that's a bit disappointing. Comes with this massive wiring harness and brackets for mounting this controller to the handlebars, which I'm not going to be using because I'm using the Hex EZCan. I won't need this. It's all going to be automated through the bike. So what's going to happen is I'm going to basically get these cables, run them, check the length, and I'm going to cut them out. So I'll only be using probably these two, I'd have thought. So yeah, you don't need the Hex EZCan. You can just run this direct to the battery and have this wiring loom and run the spotlights at full power. I believe you can make them flash and reduce intensity, but with the Hex EZCan it gives you more functionality. So that's the route I'm going to take. So we'll be chopping this cable, these two. I'll run them on the bike, fasten them all up, and then chop them down, and then wire it into the Hex EZCan. Fitting the Hex EZCan to the bike on the liquid cooled BMWs. I believe you can take this plate off, and there's plenty of room underneath to hide it. With this being the air cooled version, the earlier one, I don't think that's an option. So what I'm going to do is get rid of the toolkit. The toolkit can go in the panniers anyway, and then we've got this little tray, which I'll get rid of. And then we've got this area down here, got some spare bulbs in there. We'll get into the panniers. And then we've got this recessed area here. Right then, so I've looked on the Hex EZCan website. The YouTube video says that this has got to come off because the CAN bus connector is underneath this cover. So I'll take this rack off, take the Torx bolts out to get to it. So T30 Torx and a 10mm spanner. And I've got powered drill driver, screwdriver to make things a bit quicker. And there we have it. So you have to release that little screw there to get the lock off. And look at the state of that. It's not been cleaned in a long time. So the Hex EZCan, we've got the yellow, blue, red, and that's white. So they are the outputs, plus the horn. That's the battery. And then this is into the CAN bus. So the Hex can's got to sit in here, so this is going to have to be removed. This needs to come down further. You're not giving enough slack there, Hex. do with at least another 10 centimetres on that cable, to be honest. Otherwise it's pulling that pretty tight. Let's get a bit more slack through there actually. I'm not very happy with the amount of slack on that cable really. But there's not much you can do about it. Back in there. So that's where we're at with that one. That can stay there. Right, what I've done so far then. So I've wired in the EZCan to the CAN bus connector. Put battery power to it. I've took the horn cable. I've added some braid to it because it's just a green cable, so I've added a bit of protection to that cable, routed that through to the horn, connected the horn. I've just briefly connected one of the spotlights up, so that's not been routed yet, and all I've done is just tapped into it using some easy taps just to check the wiring. So what I've done is I've chopped off the original Colight loom, and it comes with 4 cables inside that. EZCan is now installed in the tool tray. I've got the spotlight cables and horn cable and the cable for the Lamto screen all running into this area here. They run up through the side of the tank under that cover. Cables run down here, and then the Colight cables are cable tied just there. So they only run when the engine's running. They turn off when I turn the indicators on. Both spots will strobe when I press the horn, and they'll also strobe if I press the flash button 3 times quickly. And if I put the hazards on, they will flash in sequence with the hazard warning lights. When the hazard warning lights are on, the strobes are off, and when the hazards are off, the spots are on. We have the accessory, that's for the Lamto screen. 12 seconds after turning the ignition off, it cuts power to that, but it seems to be cutting it a lot quicker, but I'm not worried about that one. Yeah, it's took me most of the day to sort this out with the routing cables and soldering and trying to make it all fit together nicely. But I think it's been worth it. It'd be nice to see what it's like when I go out and test it. So yeah, we'll get the bike out and see what it's like on the road. So I thought I'd come out and do a night ride. Now I've got the Colight D09 spotlights fitted. To see, or just to show you how bright they actually are. You can't really tell whilst I'm riding around with the street lights, but they are significantly brighter than the standard BMW headlight. Light goes out, that spotlight goes out, and the other one stays on. But there's just not enough channels, output channels on the Hex EZCan to do that. With it being 3 positive feeds to each spotlight. If it was just one spotlight on its own, that wouldn't be an issue. We could just wire each spotlight to each separate output on the EZCan. But with there being 3 positives that needed wiring in, it just wasn't possible. There's not enough channels. The only way to overcome that would be to buy another Hex EZCan and daisy chain it. But I'm not paying another 300 quid just so I can have that feature. So I'm happy at the minute. All it does is it turns all the spots off when the indicator's gone, so it makes it more obvious that you're indicating. So that's the standard main beam But as soon as I start stuff, it turns the Colight spotlights on, so I can't really show you what the dip beam looks like. But, as you can see, lights the road fairly well. Let's just go back to really difficult to film this because it's so damn bright. Yeah, but we've got daylight running lights there and just the dip beam. They are running off one circuit. I think that's the red circuit on the Hex EZCan. You can see down the road. It does light the road up pretty damn well. And then if we go to main beam, like night and day. Good thing with these is the wired up for with the horn. So hit the horn, we get the strobe effect on the spots. And also if we flash the main beam 3 times, we get a strobe effect as well. And they will, the horn, they'll strobe whenever the horn's pressed. So yeah, pretty decent set of spotlights for 130 quid, and I'm pretty impressed with the build quality of them. Right, let's pick my glove up, let's get motoring. As you can see, main beam on. You can see the intensity of the spots where we've got them aimed, which lights the entire road up. They really are decent. I don't know how they compare to Denali's or Lone Rider, but what are Denali's now, 500 quid at least? If you've got a sort of money, then yeah, brilliant, get them. The build quality is probably fantastic. I've never actually held a pair myself, but I'm sure they are nice spotlights. But if you're on a budget or you don't want to spend that much, these Colights are definitely worth the money. They're definitely seeing good value. I've only had one person flash me. That was a truck. That was on a dual carriageway where it's pitch black. I think he must have thought I had my main beam on. He soon dipped his there when I put the main on and burnt his retinas out. But if you want to be seen on a bike, these really do work very well.